like a sleep twitch.
There have been many changes in life in Editors since their album An End Has to Start sold millions and broke the band worldwide. It established them as one of the UK's most prominent groups. Now back with their third record, the boys are on the road again, and the Culture Show went to catch up with them in the City of Light. Okay, Russ and Tom from the Editors, thanks very much for speaking to us here on France 24.
Thank you.
Now, with the new album, you've really gone into new territory. Were you determined to sort of move on from what you've done before?
I don't know if determination really came into it. Just making music for us should feel exciting, and you shouldn't feel like you're just doing the things you've done before. So we've always used synthesizers, but they've always been in the background. So it just felt right to bring them to the foreground, and it made making the music more exciting again. We felt a formula creep in slightly to the way that we worked, and we didn't like that, so we tried to work a different way. And I think that's a good way of. All the bands I've loved have always, surprised me and moved their sound and tested their audience, and I think that's the way bands should be.
And were you nervous about how the new sound was going to go down with the fans?
Not really. I mean, of course you don't want everyone to hate it. I wasn't particularly bothered if it did better or worse than the previous album or albums. And when we make a record, we like the whole thing to be a cohesive listen, but a listen that has different things going on. So I was aware that over the course of these 9 songs that make up this album, there's only really one single, and that's in a single radio terms, and that's proved to be probably the biggest single that we've ever released. And then the rest of it is a little bit more challenging, I think, and that to me is an interesting, very record. So I always knew someone was going to like it.
You've never really been into aiming to please, though, have you?
We aim to please ourselves, I guess.
I think it's the excitement for us is in a room when we record and make the music, and I think that will always translate onto a record, and then anybody that likes Editors, I think they will always get a sense of what we were doing. Some people that might have gone into the last record was very guitar heavy, and if they got into us on that record, they might not get this one so much. But I think anyone that's followed us from the first album through, I think it makes a lot of sense.
A lot has changed since you started on this journey. You all live in different cities now. Some of you live in New York, London, Birmingham.
Yep.
How does that work for writing music?
It's fine. I mean, Tom writes the initial ideas, then sends us, those ideas out to wherever we are. That's a plus for the internet there.
Russell's only redeeming. Sorry.
And then, and then we get together once we've got a collection of songs that we can work on. And once everyone's had a break, and then, I don't know, living in different cities, you get different ideas, and you're getting different things into your head, and I don't know, that's going to rub off onto your music.
You don't know love like you used to. You don't feel love like you did before. You don't know love like you used to. You don't feel love like you did before.
There is a lot of London, though, isn't there, in this album?
Yeah, definitely is, yeah. Especially lyrically. Found myself more as of an observer with this record, whereas the last records have been more personal, the lyrics. So I guess that was a kind of deliberate decision. And I live in London. I was sat there kind of writing and doing whatever I do when I write lyrics. I don't know what I do, mulling things over or just waiting for inspiration, and looking out the window and observing people in the place, and so that it fed through into a lot of the lyrics. And I think we've always been, as a band that enjoys exploring cities and that kind of imagery, especially cities at night time, and this one's no exception. Yeah.
Now, a different sounding album means a different sounding gig. How's it been going down with the fans?
Very well. I mean, all the songs, you know, we play lots of songs off each of the records, and I don't know, they take people on a journey. I mean, we're playing our longest sets that we've ever done, and you know, they feel good. I don't know, it's like, you know, there's different things going on the stage, and that's how I've always liked when I've watched bands, you know, to see all these things happening. You know, what's that thing doing there, making that sound? I always like that.
Now you're on a tour of Europe where you have a huge following. Are there places that you are more excited than others to visit?
I don't know, these 3 gigs that we're doing now, the Olympia tonight, Antwerp tomorrow, and then Heineken Music Hall in Amsterdam. I don't know, they're pretty big shows. I think they'll feel good. But I mean, we've been, you know, the start of the tour, we went to places that we've never been to. You know, we played in Skopje, and you know, that's an experience, and the show was incredible. I mean, we went to places where they haven't had bands for 10 months, you know, so, you know, for a rock band to come through and to play music, the excitement is unbelievable. You feel like the Beatles, I guess. You know?
We've always had mainland Europe has always, actually, to be honest, with the exception of France, mainland Europe has always been responded very well to us. You know, we're bigger, arguably, in lots of places in Europe than we are in England now, and that,
They're
of course,
probably a bit less trendy or something. People are very into the coolness.
they're
of
less
Britain,
fashion-led, definitely. That's not important to them, even to the music press. You know, in places like Belgium and Holland and Germany, you know, that's cool is not seen as an important thing. You know, people like us and dislike us. I'm not saying it's uniform, critical, you know, success, but it definitely feels like we're more relevant, and that's great for us. Of course, it is. Yeah.
Now the tour wraps up in September. What's your plans after that?
That's when we have a summer of festivals, lots of exciting shows coming up, some interesting ones as well, and then September. I think the last one we do is Berlin, and then I'll be writing over the summer, because the way the festivals work is that I can write in between. You're busy at the weekend, but you have the weekdays off and at home, and so I'll be writing, and then we'll just move forward, and as the songs come together, we'll start rehearsing and recording. And I think we're thinking about maybe recording in batches and maybe trying to record in places that we've not recorded before. We're definitely going to work with Flood again. You know, we feel like we've started something with him, and we feel like, you know, this is the beginning. So we're in a good space with him, and which is exciting, really. But we're not putting any time constrictions on it. You know, it's just we'll wait and see till it comes, and then we'll press record.
Everything I always wanted is right here, but soon it won't be. Merci beaucoup. Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs.
Well, Tom and Russ, thanks very much for joining us here on France 24.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow for more culture from around the world.